So today we have to take a look at Optic versus C9 on Ascent because the Yoru meta is incoming. Because the current Masters champions, Optic Gaming, decided, let's put Victor on Yoru on Ascent and see how it goes. And it went pretty well. We also have a fade for them as well, so that'll be pretty interesting to see. So let's take a look at what they did, and let's start with their attacking round here, round number 4. And what's going to happen to start off is we're going to see actually, some nice combos between the Fade and the Yoru here because they're going to take early mid control. You'll see what I mean. So they put in this Omen Smoke here, and what Victor is going to do on this Yoru, he's going to send his TP to come into this corner here, and what they're going to do is they're going to use a Prowler to clear out this close area, right, to make sure that the Yoru is TPing into something that's nice and safe. And so the Prowler clears that out. We get the TP from the Yoru coming in here with Victor, and now he's going to send a fake Yoru running up as well. So they get a lot of early pressure from this Yoru in mid nice and early. This clone actually sets off the one chamber trap that C9 have available to them, so now they have none of that passive sentinel utility. They also shoot it, which gives them a bit of info as well. And now, they've got that early mid control, right? You can see the reaction of the C9 players. They kind of push back. They actually feel the need to drone it back to try and maybe take some of that control back. We can see the Optic, they're just kind of chilling in mid, and they're actually about to come up towards the A side of mid here in towards tree. And what they're going to do is they're actually going to send in the Yoru ult, okay? And this is going to be super, super cool. And I think generally in pro games, information is very, very important. And of course, this Yoru ult now gives you pretty perfect information, it must be said, because what's going to happen is Victor obviously sees the Zeppers here, right? So what they're going to do is they're going to send in an Omen Flash towards Zepper, and then try and push him off this short and so that they can cross to A. But then, whilst that's going on, we actually have the Yoru ult come in onto the A site, right? And so Victor's now just going to clear the whole A site and tell them that it's free because this Omen retreats. And so they basically get onto this A site for free. What's going to happen here is actually Ye's going to die from spam from the window here. We're just going to get some spam from the window. He dies there. A bit of a blind kill. But they see that the A site is free, right? They send in this nice stun towards the window afterwards. And so they get the plant, right? And they don't have to worry about anything. It all happens very fast. Perhaps before C9 were really ready. And you can tell because they still got one person vanity there deep on B. And also you've got Mitch, still wanting to clear some of these potential lurk spots from Optic, like here over here. And so FNS is actually walking back towards mid, and he finds the freest kill of his life because Mitch is still worried about those other lurk spots. And so we end up in this position here, a little 4v4 retake. Leaf tries to come in off the Omen Flash. I would have preferred here if C9, wait a bit, because Vanity on the Sova, which would be pretty good here, you would think, for this retake with the shock darts and the recon bolt and whatnot, would be pretty handy in this situation. But they go a little early there, but still Leaf is actually able to find one kill, but then gets traded out by Victor. Zepper tries to follow him in, but Crashes actually comes swinging out and got that kill as well. And so we end up in this 3v2. And then what's going to happen here is Curry's going to walk out the other side of heaven, but we have Victor here just sitting underneath him, and so he's able to get that kill. Vanity does trade it out, but we end up in this 2v1, and Marv does really well here to avoid those shock darts because he is low, and then eventually we get the kill from Optic, and we see there the Yoru, right? The mid control, the destruction of the chamber trap, even little things like that, all very valuable to play with. And then obviously the Yoru ult allowing them to plant very, very early, knowing that the site was clear, not having to, spend the time to clear all those angles and suffer potential threat. Really nice round from the Yoru, and I think that, we can see the potential. It's definitely there. And now let's come to round number 7, and we're going to see a couple things to start off with. One is that Optic, I think a big part of what they wanted to do in this game was to defeat this one way. It's a very common one way that you see in pro games, and it's very difficult. A lot of teams just kind of get stuck behind it for a very long time, and obviously that can lead to some downfalls of teams because you can potentially get an op just set up here and you're in some trouble, but clearly Optic wanted to defeat that. And so what they're going to do to defeat it in this instance, sometimes they use Prowlers, but in this instance we're going to see the stun here from the breach and an actual double TP from the Omen here of Marv. He's going to TP twice to get across and get early A main control and get past this one way, which does cause a lot of teams problems. So you can see here we get that early stun. We can see that you've got already Marv has TP'd once, and now he's going to TP again. So they get the early control. And actually, another thing they were doing was farming the ult orb here on A, which obviously is normally very easy for the attackers to get. They were just giving that to the Yoru, and so we're actually going to see another Yoru ult, even though we're only a couple rounds after that first one I just showed. Then we also have to show this, and this is Curry. Welcome to what it's like to play against Ye, because you can't do that. As soon as you hear that chamber ult go off, you cannot do stuff like that. But C9 have a pretty good idea that Marv is doing this kind of thing. They've heard the double TP, so they feel like there's probably something going on. So they do a little double swing on him. They get the KO nade in there as well, and they kill him as well. So we end up in a 4v4. We get the Silver Drone coming out from C9 towards the back of mid, but we're actually going to get the Yoru ult coming out again. And what's going to happen here is Crashy wants to come up short, right? We're in this 4v4, and so what's going to happen is Victor is going to just quickly check wine there for FNS, but then he's going to come and clear short for Crashies and basically just tell him, yep, it's all clear, you can just come and run in here, and then he's going to break through this glass and go through towards A. Now, this is a really dangerous position to be in, right, for these defenders, because now there's 3 different things you have to think about in terms of your defending, and we're gonna see that play out because what's gonna happen is we're going to get a stun in onto sight, and Victor just continues running. He also, we saw that he just put down the fake when he was in his ult, so that's not actually coming in onto the site as well. You can see that this is now starting to run up as well and just creating an extra dimension of threat here. And we can see Zeppa's position here, right? He's worried about behind. He knows that Victor, they've heard probably the Yoru ult animation sound there towards the glass. They've heard the glass break as well, so they probably know that Victor is up here. He's suppressed Crashies, so we know that Crashies is down here as well, and he's hearing footsteps coming up from A main as well. So he's probably thinking about a lot here, Zeppa, and he doesn't really know which way to look. And you'll see that he's constantly turning around. I think he actually quickly does turn towards this, but then Crashies comes around and kills him. Now, actually here, Optic are going to lose this round. It seems impossible from this situation that they would lose this round, but Leaf is about to go absolutely massive in hell, and it comes off the back of this Sova ult as well coming from Vanity, because that's going to stop FNS from helping them out here. So Leaf is able to get Crashies just from this position, and then he's also going to find Victor, but FNS can't help out with Victor because he's being ulted, and so Leaf finds the 3rd kill as well. Absolutely absurd, of course, but I think again this is another round, and what's going to happen here at the end is Ye eventually is going to die to Mitch coming around from the flank here. But I think that, again, this was another round where we saw the potential of Yoru. I mean, if Leaf doesn't go huge, right, then Optic probably win this round. It probably is their round to win, unless Leaf does what he does. And again, we saw the Yoru, just clearing out that space in short, creating different avenues and angles of pressure. Again, the fake footsteps just adding in an extra layer to think about for the defenders. They didn't really know where to look. They get a free kill on it, and if they went and killed Leaf, they probably would have won this round, but Leaf just goes huge. And now let's come to the very next round, round number 8. And I talked about Optic's kind of goal of defeating this one way nice and early. Well, this time they're going to do it. They send in the breach stun again, but it misses, right? Because Leaf has pushed ahead of it. But they feel that might be the case, so they send in a Prowler as well, and it gets destroyed. So they send in the breach flash off that, and then they're going to send in the second Prowler just to confirm that someone has gone back, and they see that Leaf has. But they're still not convinced. They have now defeated the one way, they're past it, but they're still not fully convinced, so they actually send in the C's down there to check if anyone's in wine. It doesn't catch anyone, so now they feel, pretty safe and secure that their A execute can go in, and it's a really nice little execute they're going to get in onto the site here. So we start with this breach aftershock towards the door, right? And this is going to be pretty important, I think, because it stops Zeppa from coming out, when this execute is really like coming in, right? Because often what you'll see is that if this aftershock, for instance, isn't here, you will often get a KO flashing through this when people, when there's maybe 1 or 2 people have just started to come in onto site, and they can often get a kill, maybe even 2, and, potentially help win the round for the defenders. But with this aftershock, it just stops you from, being able to play in this smoke and get out nice and early. They're also going to send this flash in towards the gen as well, which would obviously catch anyone as well coming out. If they were playing in front of this smoke, they would be caught by that at the same time. This is going to catch Curry here back towards gen. We send in this breach flash. As soon as that breach flash is done, then we're going to get the Yoru TP in. Victor checks round close. He sees that no one's there, and then we're going to get a Fade Haunt on the top of the door as well that's going to catch Curry here, and so Victor gets an absolutely free kill. And this is the thing, right, that when all of this is going on, Curry doesn't have the time or, you know, mental power there. No one does have the mental power to sort of realize that the Yoru would already be right on you, right? It's just an extra noise that is going among many noises at that point, with the flash, with the, you know, the breach flash as well, the Yoru TP, the aftershocks going off, the Fade Haunt you've just been revealed, that makes a sound. Like, there's just too many things going on to keep track of. Oh, the Yoru's TP'd onto site, I bet he's close to me. You just can't do that, and so he just gets caught off. And I think that in this kind of pro setting, that will be a common occurrence. You know, when you're chaining all this utility together, no one's focusing on like, oh, there was a Yoru TP, he's probably pretty close to me. You just don't have, you know, no one has the mental power to be able to keep it all in track this quickly, right? So Victor gets an absolutely free kill. And now we're going to see the power of that aftershock, because what we've got here is actually the TP from Marv. He's going to come and join Victor to try and kill Leaf here, who's going to put down a smoke and eventually die. But Zephyr is just later than he normally would be, right, because of that aftershock. And so by the time Zephyr does come out swinging of this smoke, he's running into 3 people essentially, and so he dies there. And you can see here that Leaf has put up this smoke, but now there's 2 people here because of the TP from the Omen, and so, you know, they're good. And at this point, FNS actually goes running up towards Garden, and he's actually going to find Vanity there, you know, from this kind of little weird position. And then eventually we're going to end up in a save for Mitch, or an attempted save, I should say, because eventually FNS is going to hunt him down. But as I mentioned, you know, with the Yoru in coordinated pro play, there is a lot of potential here. They actually even smoke off the one trap he had available, which is quite funny. And they stun him. You know, they have a pretty good idea of what's going to go on. He does manage to find Ye, but FNS does hunt him down and get that final kill. Really nice round from Optic there. And, you know, again, we saw the potential of the Yoru. And now let's come to round 10. Another little cool Yoru round here. So it starts with Victor putting down this same little TP. He obviously, Mitch shoots at him, so he knows that this probably isn't going to work because Mitch has just shot him, so he just fakes it straight away. They send out a Prowler to clear out Mitch early, who TPs away. So again, they try and get that early mid control, and they manage to succeed. And this is going to be a really cool little round. And eventually what's going to happen here is we're going to get a drone into B main, and they are actually going to go towards B, but we're going to see the power of the Yoru. And it starts with this little fake Yoru that Victor just put down there. And so we're starting to get the drone in on B. You can see it just here, and it sees these 2 players, right? So the reaction instantly off the back of seeing those 2 players, of course, is that, you know, people are going to rotate to B. They kind of recognize that to B hit. But we sent out the fake Yoru, and the fake Yoru just holds Zephyr for just a tick longer. You can see he just stays there. And then we're actually going to get a Fade Haunt into the Yoru TP into Market here as well. So, you know, you still got Zephyr being held by this fake Yoru there, but actually the Yoru is in here with the Fade Haunt that, you know, has seen no one, so they know it's safe. And so in they come, right? And now you've got Victor in this really pushed up position, and he can start sort of clearing the near site, and that's exactly what he does. He starts looking at the near site. He doesn't really see that anyone is close, and so then he's going to shoot this chamber trap, and so they think, oh, they must probably be on site then, right? Because the Sova had droned from B, so they're probably looking for the Sova. They fade ult onto the site, but it doesn't see anyone either, so they're probably a bit confused at this point. But actually, Vanity has just slipped away into the night and actually retreated. He's put down this Sova dart, and that's actually going to catch our man Victor. He's going to get caught. You just see that it said location revealed there. They send in a seize towards the CT there, but unfortunately for him, Leaf is coming behind and gets a pretty free kill on Victor. But FNS is able to trade it out, and so they get in onto the site, right? And between the Fade and Yoru, they basically managed to clear this entire site and, you know, figure out that it was all there for them to take. So we end up in a 4v4, and, well, you know, I mean, as soon as you're staring at Ye doing this, you probably know what the next outcome is. It's that, and then I really like this from Optic, because they're actually all just huddled in this corner. We actually had the pop of the KO ult from C9, but they're actually just huddled all towards the back here, just waiting for them to run up, and as soon as they did, you know, they were just going to breach all out and probably just charge at them. So that would have been nice, but unfortunately for us, we didn't get to see it because C9 are actually going to go on a save here and Optic win the round. But again, we just see the use of the Yoru, the use of Fade as well, right, to just clear out areas, and Optic got a lot of value from just having very good information of where C9 were and what was going on. And again, they won this round off the back of that. But now let's come to the defensive side and round number 17. And you can see by Optic's sort of what they're doing, their setup here, that they were just playing full retake on B. And really with their comp, it does make some sense because they essentially have sort of 4 initiators. You know, you have Crashies, FNS who are playing actual initiators. Victor on Yoru is kind of an initiator, and Marv, the Omen, has some initiating capacity as well. So, you know, it does make sense here, but we are just going to get this B hit. We're going to see a couple things. So they start, you know, smoking things off. They send in the drone there. It actually does manage to tag the Yoru, and so they send in the Sova ult off the back of it. But Crashies here is about to send in a Fade Haunt. You'll see it just there on the map, and it tags these 2 players towards the boat here. And so off the back of that, Crashies is going to find the first kill off the back of Curry being tagged there. You can see that Leaf is also marked here. So that Fade Haunt gets them a kill there. So a nice bit of use of Fade. And now they just play for the retake, right? You know, 5v4 retake at this point, you're feeling pretty good about it. Crashies is in a bit of danger, but, you know, Zephyr doesn't quite feel comfortable enough to actually go and push him. They send in the flash to make sure that he doesn't. But now what we're about to get is really, really cool because we're going to get a breach done down towards lane here from FNS. And then the Yoru's going to TP in here and manage to get a kill. And it's just super, super cool, right? So in we go. Here comes the breach stun, or it will in a couple seconds. There goes the Yoru TP. In comes this breach stun. It catches them, and the Yoru TPs, and he's actually going to find Zephyr there, who's obviously very worried about someone swinging from the window instead. And so we end up in this position. And now we're going to get the Yoru ult as well. And so Victor just sees Vanity, right? So Vanity's just screwed at this point in time because they just know where he is. And then he's going to go clear out the rest of B main for his team. So whilst that's going on and they know exactly where Vanity is, Marv is actually going to come around the stairs and kill Vanity. But gets killed himself by Leaf. But now they know where Leaf is as well. They've started to clear B main, and so they're just gonna go for the breach ult, and that catches him, of course. And now they see that only one is there, so you know they feel that. Perhaps, you know, the other was probably deeper in B main, which they are, so they have Crashies just watching that. He's going to find that kill on Mitch, who obviously feels like he has to try and run in and save the day, and they get the kill, obviously, on the stunned Leaf there as well. And just, again, another really nice round from Optic. We saw the use of the Fade, the Yoru, the Breach. It all looks really, really good. And then let's finally come to the last round here, round number 18. There isn't too much that goes into this one, but we will see something that I think will prove another point about Yoru. We start off with this dart here towards short, and you'll just see Leaf here, just a bit lackadaisical. He never really checks left. You can see the little arrow here. So he dies to FNS without really realizing what's going on, and we end up in this 4v5. So what's going to happen is they push Marv off trying to do anything, you know, crazy, and well, they're just eventually going to go in for an A hit here, right? But there is going to be something pretty crazy that happens. But again, I think that this proves something about the Yoru, because we're going to see Ye get another kill. They wait for the smoke to fade. C9, obviously, they're kind of wondering exactly what to do at this point. They've lost their duelist and their star player, so, you know, it's not an easy situation for them. But as I mentioned, what's going to happen is Ye's going to get another kill, and then we're going to get something pretty wild coming out from Curry, because he sends out a smoke towards short. There goes the kill from Ye. They send in a dart, but actually we're going to get the Omen TP in here, right? And this is the thing. Look at this, right? And this is a good point for the Yoru, because this Omen ult, right, you have to wait a long, long time before you're actually able to shoot any bullets. But Curry's actually going to manage to stick this and find a kill. And if this doesn't prove that the Yoru is viable and that a lot goes on and, you know, people are thinking about a lot of other things, that if the Omen could TP here and still manage to kill FNS in this situation, then a Yoru definitely could have done it. But Marv ends up trading it out, and we end up with the trade on Ye there from C9, but Zephyr ends up in a 1v3. This is going to be pretty well played by Optic. They're going to wait for Victor to get close enough to trade any kills. You see they don't really peek out at him, and eventually, whilst he is able to kill Marv there, now Victor comes swinging from heaven. Unlosable for Optic, and very well played by them. And again, this whole game, and the last kill obviously coming in from our Yoru there, it was just amazing to see Yoru do so well in a game. And if Optic are playing Yoru, then that can say to pretty much any other team, well, you know, this isn't a troll pick. Anyone could pick Yoru. And so hopefully, for all you Yoru mains out there, this is the time. This is the time to rise up, because there's a lot of hope built off just this one map, to be honest, of seeing Yoru.